We're not going to touch the reins unless we make a change. We're going to try to teach him to slow down by doing changes of directions rather than pulling on him, forward to get him to slow down. What we're first going to do is try to gain control of him in an environment where we're safe, and we need to actually, while we're teaching him this, work a little bit with our legs and tell him this means speed up. All right, that this is the cue that actually means speed up. So those are the things we're going to work on. Now, the next step is to decide where would it be easiest to get our horse to slow down and guide him from and develop better control from. In other words, would it be easier to neck rein our horse or to guide him, let's say with his nose, where we turn him to the left and with his nose to the left and he goes to the left, or to try to neck rein him, or to try to guide him with, let's say, his shoulders by moving him over with his shoulders like this, guide him with his shoulders. Or would it be easier to guide him with our legs? Well, our legs are out because our legs are going to be used to tell him to go forward. The cue that he's not responding to slow down, in other words, if my horse is going too fast, I wouldn't be using my seat and my legs, to ask him to slow down when he's running away with me. What I'm going to use is the bridle. Same thing you're going to use. So we don't want to use our legs to ask him to slow down or our seat to guide him. Not primarily. We want to use these reins to tell him what direction to go. So what would be easier to guide him with his nose, his neck, or his shoulders? Or would those be the easiest things to guide my horse with? And the answer is no. None of the above. What we're going to guide him first with is his hindquarters. We're actually going to guide him with his tail. We're going to take his tail and move it to the right, or to the left. Or what we're actually going to do is point his tail where we don't want to go. Now, how do we ride him with his tail? Well, and why? Well, why is because, as I said, it's the easiest place to guide our horse from. It is a natural movement that when Charlie brings his head to the left, that he takes his tail and moves it to the right. Right? If he brings his head to the right, it's natural. It's one of the very few natural movements that the horse makes for us that we actually want. So it's natural for him, as he brings his head to one side, to move his tail to the other. So now it's actually better, just like a boat. We don't guide the boat from the bow. We guide it from the back end of the boat. The reason is because it's the easiest place to guide it. Well, it's the same with your horse. We can actually guide him the direction we want him to go by pointing the tail where we don't want to go. It is also natural, and it happens to you and it happens to me, that the horse brings his head to one side and we want him to turn, but he keeps going the direction that he wants to go. All right? All of us have had that happen to us on almost every horse, where we want the horse to go this way, but the horse just keeps going toward the gate, toward the barn, toward the buddy horse, etc. Now, when your horse does this, then what we want to do is actually change our thinking and point the tail, where we don't want to go. If I don't want to ride, want the horse going toward the camera, then what I want to do is take the tail and point the tail toward the camera. Now, this is extremely important. The more your horse is trying to run away with you or go where it wants to go, or to go faster than you want it to go, then it's even more important that we guide him from back here, and we think that the rein actually runs not to the bit in the horse's mouth, but it actually runs to the top of the tail, and we're going to take the top of that tail and move it where we want it to go. You do not have to use your legs to do this. We can simplify our legs by saying, okay, the only leg cue we're going to use his two legs squeeze evenly, and that means to go. All right?